So was just thinking about tips. You know, you don't really know how to handle yourself if you think that your kid could be in danger of being touched by somebody, which, I mean, most people who have been molested or think about molestation or worry about their kids being around other people, if you're a helicopter parent, you know, you want to have these kind of conversations, but like, what happens if you're on the opposite side of that conversation and your child says, it happened to me? Where's your emotions go? I know in my video when I came out and I talked about my parents, one of the things that I had been angry about for so long was how they handled it. I really felt like my mom handled it the wrong way, and my dad. Absolutely, both of them. And I was so angry for so long. What I get now being a parent is there's more to it than how you're responding about that situation. There's like, all right, well, who's going to be there to take care of my kids? Who's going to be there now that I'm gone? How vulnerable are my kids going to be if I'm not there in their lives? Why you want to hurt this person? You know, really, are you willing to go to jail, risk not being there for your kids at all, and put them in a worse situation than what they're already in at that moment? I totally get it. But, you know, I share this conversation with my kids all the time, and I don't just share it from the standpoint that somebody's outside your house that you have to worry about. I also talk about what's appropriate between your brother and your sister, or your sister and your father, or your brother and your brother. And, you know, there's an uneasiness that comes with that for me. And probably because I was molested by my sister as well, my stepsister. I don't know if I'm talking from my personal fear or if I'm talking from warning or prevention or whatever it is. It's still a really weird conversation. And I know it has to be for any parent, especially if you're trying to know and feel comfortable about what goes on in your own home. I, as a victim, I need to know. I need to have those kind of conversations with my daughter. I need to have those kind of conversations with my sons. I need to have those kind of conversations with my husband about the things that go on in my head. He needs to know where I'm at. I need to know where I'm at. I need to gauge that. So I would say be willing to have conversations, and I don't mean pry at your children and put things in their head like, did such and such do this to you, or did they do that to you? You don't want to put yourself in, you're talking it into existence. That's not where you need to be. And realize this too, once you start having these conversations, you know, your kids are going to be a little bit more hypersensitive to knowing about these things and sharing with you. So there might be a frequency that you hear things about it. It might be something that is revealed to you about your child touching people. And, you know, that has to be a kick in the pants. I can't even imagine anything like that. But what I will say is, if you do suspect that your child is being touched inappropriately, instead of you handling it in your emotional space that you're naturally going to be in, however, you know, it comes out, get counseling immediately. Like, move directly into finding somebody for this child to be able to express themselves to, for you to be able to talk to, because you're going to mourn the loss of who that child once was. Before all that, all you're going to be able to remember is who they were before that. And even if it's like just the slightest difference, you will forever feel like somebody needs to be in debt for how it changed your kid. And it's a hard road to be on. So make sure that there's somebody there to talk to both of you. Recognize exactly where you stop when it happens. I wouldn't say I stopped growing emotionally, but I stopped being accountable really early on. And so my actions didn't necessarily have a lot of consequences because there was like this out. Oh, this happened to me, so this is why I'm this, and this happened to me, so this, like your pity party. Make sure you're in a conversation about, a moment doesn't define a lifetime. I mean, we want our children to know that we're there to protect them and that what happened to them is wrong and that what somebody did was terrible. But at the same time, we have to be in a conversation about how do you survive that. Is that, the space that you get stuck in, you're forever a victim, that something happened to you? Good chance that you will probably always remember it, but it doesn't have to be the thing that leads your life forever and ever and ever. It's an easy space to be in. Really easy. You can get caught there because it becomes an excuse for all of your shortcomings. And even if you don't use it out loud, if you use it in your thoughts to yourself, it's probably even worse because it's your cop out for every reason you didn't do what you really said you wanted to do. Try noticing that. Another tip, share often. Share really often. Your share means a lot to the next person who's not necessarily ready to share, who hasn't maybe shared outside of their family, who hasn't necessarily become a voice, for something like that. And the more, I don't want to say normalized it becomes, but I think maybe normalized for the share, like it becomes the right thing to do. Until we get to that point, the more people keep hearing other people's stories, the better and the quicker they come out. Remember, I said it only took one time for somebody to share with me what was going on in their life, and it makes all the difference in the world because you don't feel like you're by yourself. And you'd be like, it would blow you away the things that people make up about themselves, how responsible they hold themselves, how guilty. There's so much guilt in it, for your role or, what you could have done different. And you were a kid. And still there's this guilt that you have as a victim that, I don't even know if we paid too much attention to that, but if you did pay attention to it, you would notice it's there. And I'll give you more, but for right now, my thoughts are that, and I'm going to get ready to go to sleep because I got to go to my other job, and it's probably like 2 o'clock in the morning right now, and I'm up delirious thinking, writing, and planning for this My Body Awareness Dial Workshop, January 6th. I'm going to keep plugging that. But yeah, tips. Follow those tips. I'll talk to you guys. Peace.